Welcome to All Things Social Security. Enjoy your video. Hey, TGIF, everybody, and happy Friday to our deployed military members who are not as fortunate as us to be at home and or with our friends and family at home. That is our Red Friday, and Fraud Law Review is dedicated to those wonderful people who are deployed. Okay, this one is an interesting little ditty, guys. It was published by the Office of Inspector General on November 14th. It was just a little different, so I wanted to share it. I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be. It's not really funny, but it's kind of like the dumb criminal, the dumb criminal thing. People, yeah, just can't make this stuff up. All right, so this is in Boston, and it's a young guy, and he has been convicted because he pled guilty. His name is Michael Andrew Rogers. He's only 32 years old. He's a full-grown adult. I don't mean to say he's just a baby, because he's not. It's just a shame that you throw your life away like that. But anyway, so here's what went down. He pled guilty in October of 2025, so a few weeks ago, to making online threats and extortionate demands. Okay, so you're like, oh, what does this got to do with Social Security? Allow me to continue. I say his name because he's pled guilty, so that Michael Andrew Rogers, 32, is public knowledge, and I have no problem saying it because he's no longer entitled to the presumption of innocence until proven guilty, which I would then not publish his name or speak his name out of respect for that constitutional right. And out of respect for the defendant, too. So apparently he was arrested way back in September of 2024. And here's how it went down. There's two incidences. So in April 5th of 2023, so he wasn't arrested for a year and a half later. This is what he did. He posted a threat on Google review page, the Google review page. I have no idea where these things are, but apparently they exist. I suppose I'd be afraid to look at my own, assuming everybody's up there. Of a Springfield, that would be Massachusetts, I guess, medical practice. And his threat stated, quote, "They gonna get what's coming soon. ... Will be there in the morning to get them myself one way or another." Locked and loaded. And beneath his text, Mr. Rogers, and I don't mean from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, clearly, included an image of a hand holding a firearm. In literally a year and a day later, I don't know, maybe April's not his month, I don't know. Here's what he did a year and a day later after that. And this is before he actually got arrested. So he did these two things and then he was arrested. April 6th of 2024, a year later. I mean, can you get any dumber? Sorry. He submitted a threat through a fraud reporting website for the Social Security Administration Office of Inspector General, which is where we're reading from right now. In addition to news press releases like this about the fraud that they uncover and prosecute and all that, they also have a place where you can report things. You can report fraud, waste, and abuse. So apparently that is where I suspect maybe it was through through that particular reporting system that anyone can report when they see something awry. And here's what he said to the Office of Inspector General. I'm sorry, this is just too rich. Quote, "I'm going to start taking what I need by any means necessary." He didn't spell it right, but ... "Give me my money or I'm going to start dropping people. You'll never find my weapons, so stop looking and give me my check. Next time I slice something open, it won't be me. Okay, it'll be one of your children. I'll murk," I don't know what that means, "a whole school and not give a F." And the F, of course, is not spelled out here. "So you'll be my first target if you keep refusing to help me." Yeah, okay. So I would like that person never to be walking the streets freely. Sorry, I don't. I think he told how dangerous he is, and these things need to be taken more seriously, right? What's interesting and unfortunate to me is that a year earlier, the Sport Springfield medical practice has to deal with this, assuming they saw it. I think some businesses check these things. I'm not one of them, but I think others do. They find it important. I don't find it important myself, but um, so this did they report? I wonder if they reported him ever, because certainly nothing happened between until several months after the April 6th, 2024, a year later, when the SSA was threatened. So that's just unfortunate. I don't know. Google maybe doesn't, I get it that Google might not be getting every threat out there, and I'm not sure if I would even want them to, but you would think Springfield Medical Practice would have reported it. And if so, did anything happen? Who'd they report it to? Did it go to the local authorities? I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they do what a lot of us do and just be like, oh God, roll our eyes and hope for the best and hope it's just, someone shooting their mouth off as usual. Anyway, they go on to say that the charge of threatening interstate communications provides for a sentence of up to 5 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of $250,000. Up to 5 years. That means probably they don't even have to give them jail time. And knowing Massachusetts, was that Massachusetts? They tend to give a slap on the wrist. I mean, you can go pedo out all you want on children and you're going to get a slap on the wrist, right? That's what it seems like anyway when we hear the sentences that go down a lot of the time. It could be that there's many that are very just and proper, and we just don't hear them because good news never travels when proper things happen, only bad news, and half the time it's made up. All right, going on, the charge of extortionate. Interesting word. I honestly never saw it before. The charge of extortionate interstate communications provides for a sentence of up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of $250,000. Sentences are imposed by federal district court judge based upon the U.S. sentencing guidelines, blah, blah, blah. All right. But I just thought that was very interesting. I'm sorry, not very bright person. You think they're going to let that ride? You send a government agency a threat of that nature? Wow. Anyway, again, I don't care. I don't really know that someone like that can be rehabilitated, and I think he would always be a risk of hurting people because he's actually said he's going to. So that's all I got to say. And I don't feel like, oh, wow, he must just be so disabled that in pain that he's just frustrated and first of all, he thinks it's his, which something tells me that guy never worked a day in his life. So, some people think the welfare program is theirs too. I just don't roll with that. Anyway, all right, another interesting one for the books, guys. Windsor, Massachusetts. I hope Massachusetts federal judge is perhaps a law and order person and not a slap on the wrist criminal coddling person, because we see what happens to innocent people when that happens. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye-bye.